Good afternoon. This is Dana Bomer with Finding God in Stage 4. I just thought I'd come on and do a little video right now. Kind of just want to talk about some of my experiences over the last few days. Really just focus on talking from my heart instead of reading, which I had been doing, and I really just want to be more authentic from my heart. So um, the last couple days have been a little bit easier than the weekend, so huge praises for that. I wanted to talk about July 21st, so not yesterday but the day before, would have been my eldest son's 23rd birthday, and he would be 23, so full grown. I lost him. We lost him when he was 5 to a rare pediatric brain tumor called diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma. We call it DIPG for short. And it was just horrific to go through that. And I went through it the best I could, trying to keep my eyes on Jesus, trying to just find any good that I could. Not that I could find good in that, but find things to be grateful for. Like, I still had Jalen, um, who was 1. I got to watch him grow up at the time. That was one of my big saving graces, was having a little Jaden to snuggle up to. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's too big of a bomb to lay out without giving all the detail and the information, but this certainly isn't my first heartache with a brain tumors and brain issues. And so I just I don't know, I wanted to share that about him and our family, what we went through, because it was his birthday and I just want to honor him on his birthday. Even though this is 2 days late, I wasn't ready really 2 days ago to do this. So like, you guys needed to see me yawn. Yeah, so when he was diagnosed, it was really hard. We were stationed in Guam. On that day, something was just not right. It was November 13th, I believe. He woke up. I couldn't get him to wake up from sleeping. He wanted to sleep and wanted to sleep, and I was trying to homeschool him, and I took him to go to the food court because I had the car that day, which was rare because we were still moving to Guam. So I took him, and as it turned out, I gave him some food and he just turned and threw it up. And so I thought we were getting sick, and because we were still new to base, I hadn't got our stuff yet, and so I bought a thermometer and Pedialyte and some stuff and thought, okay, waiting to go home for it to hit. And it didn't. He never got a fever. He just couldn't wake up. He wanted to sleep. And the next morning, it was a Thursday, I was in my room and I heard him scream, like I heard a thud and a scream, and he cried. And I went in and I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "I have to pee, but I can't get up to go to the bathroom." And so I had to help walk him. He was pretty heavy for me. And I kind of walked him into the bathroom and helped him go. And then he immediately just wanted to fall back asleep again. And so I let him lay down and I called the doctor. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I called the help me line there at the base, and they said, I've had a cold before too, and sometimes you just have to suck it up. I'm like, no, something's really wrong with him. And they're like, well, you can take him to the ER if you really think that, but we have no appointments. I said, thanks, I will. And so when my husband got home from PT, I said, we need to take Dylan to the ER. Something's really wrong. And he kind of rolled his eyes but humored me, not realizing how severe this issue was. And so we loaded up. We had Jaden and Dylan with us. Dylan slept all the way down to the naval base there in Guam, and we had stopped and got a little donut on the way, and so he woke up and he said, "I'm hungry," and I gave him a piece of donut, and he tried to take a bite, and he just fell right back asleep. And we just knew something was wrong, and so John carried Dylan, and I pushed Jaden in his stroller, and we got there, and inside the thing, when we got there, they said, "Is he normally like this?" And we said, "No, he's not. Something's really wrong." And they triaged us right away, got us in, started trying to figure out what was going on, and did a CT. I think they tried hydrating him, and they did a CT scan, and that's when they told us that he had a mass on his brain, and he had hydrocephalus, which was what was causing his symptoms. Hydrocephalus is fluid on the brain, so he had a lot of brain swelling and fluid backing up from this mass preventing it. And so I don't know that I have the strength to go through this whole story right now, but basically we went, our church was there, they prayed over us. Dylan and I medvac to the Philippines. John and Jaden stayed in Guam. We went to the Philippines, and the doctor came that night, or I think it was the next morning, and he told us they did an MRI on him at some point and was able to confirm that he had this DIPG, which is non-operable, and there's no treatment for this, and he needed a surgery to have a brain shunt placed to allow the fluid to not build up in his brain. And so they did that Saturday night, and Sunday morning is when they told me what he had. And I said, the doctor gave me a printout, and it said diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, and it went over like what it is, how long they have to live, and in the literature it said 9 months. And I called the doctor back over and I said, wait, is this correct that my son has 9 months to live? And he said, yes, that's what the literature says. And I don't think he was trying to be crass. I think he just, didn't, there was a language barrier, and I think he just didn't know how else to tell me this. And so the nightmare began. And then I'll just share this part because it is part of the story. I was pregnant at the time with my third son, Judah, and I was about 16 weeks, and I was supposed to have a prenatal visit, my first one, on that Monday, the 17th or 16th of November, but I obviously wasn't going to make it, so I decided to go upstairs and pay for an ultrasound out of pocket because I just wanted to know that my baby was okay. And I found out during that ultrasound that my baby had anencephaly and he was not going to live either. And so I don't know why we go through suffering things. Nobody knows why. Scripture doesn't tell us why. There's no, we don't have knowledge over why we have to suffer, but we do. And I don't know. I just, I wish that we didn't. I wish I had my kids back. I wish Dylan was here. I wish Judah was here. I wish things could have been different. I wish that I wasn't fighting brain cancer. Or I guess it's still breast cancer in my brain. It's metastasized. But I don't know. How do I change that to a positive? I don't think I do. I think this is just a somber message. This is just a hard message video. I just sharing my two boys' lives with you. What happened. Dylan made it back. We came back to the States to first the Naval Hospital down in San Diego. Then we went up to the Lucille Packard Children's Hospital. Up there we met Dr. Manger, who happened to be at a point in her research where she was ready to take a donated tumor should one become available, and try to keep the specimen alive, which had not been done before. And so November 14th, we found out things were going on. By December, we were at Lucille Packard by the end of December. And January 8th, we moved to the George Mark Children's House. And there is where Dylan passed away on January 8th. He went to be with Jesus in heaven, which was the hardest week and most memorable week of my life. One God thing in there is I had been reading scriptures to him. I was just reading out of the Bible on Saturday, and I got to a part that I thought might have been kind of hard and scary, and I said, do you want me to keep reading? And he said, yes, Mommy, keep reading. And so those were the last words that my son ever spoke to me, was keep reading. And I think that is for scripture. And so that's my encouragement, I guess, today is keep reading scripture. I have to end this video because my phone storage is low. So thanks for watching. Bye.